Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today we're gonna do a book haul. Okay, so I have quite the collection here. I have thrifted books, I have gifted books, I have pre-ordered books, I have a Bible study, I have a few books from Book Outlet, I have books that I got from Thrift Books, I just have kind of a little bit of everything here. So we're just going to get into this. There's really no rhyme or reason to this, but I have a collection here and it's time to get these hauled. I will say this one little caveat. There may be a couple books in here, like maybe one or two books in here that I have already hauled before. A bunch of my books got mixed up and I couldn't remember if I had hauled them or not. So I just kind of threw them in here. So if you've seen a book already and you're like, Amanda, what, you just hauled that, my apologies. This is me being unorganized and living the life of a mom of 4 children. So, giving myself some grace here. So let's get into this. I'm going to start with the books that I got in my most recently posted Thrift With Me. I'm just gonna kind of go through these really, really quickly and checking my stacks here to see what I have. But these are the books that I hauled in that haul. So I got Fablehaven by Brandon Mull. This is a middle grade book. I also got the first 2 books in the City of Ember series by Jean Duprow. City of Ember, People of Sparks. I've heard on the Thrift With Me video, a bunch of people were saying this is not that great. So kind of nervous about that now. I got a copy of Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper. This is a repeat buy for me. I ended up already having this on my shelves, so we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing with this one. I also got a graphic novel, Calamity Jack by Shannon and Dean Hale. So this is a middle grade Western graphic novel. Zorgamazoo by Robert Paul Weston. This looks like it's kind of in the vein of Roald Dahl and Dr. Seuss. It's middle grade, but it's told in rhyme, so we'll see. Is that all the middle grade that I got? No. I also got Love Ruby Lavender by Deborah Wiles. This is the same author as what is it called? Each Little Bird Sings. Sorry, it's on my bookshelf over there. And I didn't realize that when I picked it up, but I think someone had recommended this to me, and so it was on my TBR. I have no idea what it's about, but I ended up grabbing that one. And then I got this one for my husband, Wild at Heart by John Eldridge, Discovering the Secret of a Man's Soul. So I've heard really, really good things about that one and wanted to get that one for him. Oh, I have one more middle grade. I forgot this one. The Liberation of Gabriel King by K.L. Going. This is about a boy who's afraid of everything, and then this other girl in his class decides that they're going to take the summer of 1976 and face down all the fears on his list of fears. All right, and then this was a cover buy. It is a Penguin classic, but it's Winter in the Blood by James Welch. I'm guessing that it's probably literary. It says it's narrated by a young Native American living in the Fort Belknap Reservation in Montana. It's an unforgettable story of a man living out the tragedy of his people. Intelligent, sensitive, and self-destructive, he is haunted by the untimely deaths of his father and older brother and the shards of his once proud heritage. He sleepwalks through his days, working on his stepfather's cattle ranch, and consoles himself with alcohol and women. An ironic epiphany provides a tie to the vast land of his ancestors and an alternative to despair. So I don't know. It's really short. We'll see. Who knows? And then I also picked up City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. This was another kind of cover buy. I've seen it around. I have no clue what it's about at all. 1940 maybe? No idea. But it's gorgeous, and it was only like $1 or so. So I grabbed that one. And then I also got Night Soldiers by Alan First. This is a World War II historical fiction about a guy who his brother is recruited by the NKVD, and then he's sent to Spain to serve in its civil war, and yeah, it has to do with World War II. And then I also picked up Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. So this is a thriller, horror, I don't know. It's spooky, I know that. But Keisha at A Book Like You had read it and recommended it, so we'll see. I'm hoping it's not too scary for me. All right, so those are the books that I had hauled during my thrift with me. All right, where to go next from here? Let's move on to, I got 4 books from Book Outlet. So I got The Pearl Thief by Elizabeth Wein. This is the last book that I needed for the Codename Verity, like, series, companion series. And that was my son. But I don't really know what this one is about other than that. I also got Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan. I had previously listened to this one and really, really, really liked it. Really, really liked this book, and so I just wanted to own it for my shelves. I also got Orange for the Sunsets by Tina Athade. And this is, it says, Asha and her best friend, Yesofu, never cared about their differences. One of them's Indian, one of them's African, one of them's a girl, one of them's a boy, one of them's short, one of them's tall. But when Ugandan President Idi Amin announces that Indians have 90 days to leave the country, suddenly those differences are the only things that people in Entebbe can see. Not the shared after-school samosas or Asha's cheering for Yesofu at every cricket game. And so it's just about that period in Ugandan history. And so I grabbed that one. And then I also grabbed a copy of Wife After Wife. I read this in July, I think, and loved it so much I wanted to own it. So I bought that one. All right. And then that gets me into, let's see, a book that I bought brand new, which is the second book in the Wife After Wife duology. This is Sister to Sister. So Wife After Wife is a retelling of, or reimagining of King Henry VI, King Henry VIII, and his 6 wives as if it were like present day. And so Sister to Sister is about Elizabeth and Mary, and it's like a retelling of their relationship. So I ended up, because I loved Wife After Wife so much, I wanted to read this one too. So I ended up buying that one new. Another one that I bought new recently is Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. This is like the weirdest shape of a book, and the margins are huge. So I don't know if I'm going to be taking lots of notes or what, but I bought this because Krista from Books and Jams is doing a like read along kind of thing with some people, and so at the beginning of October, I think, is when she's going to do that. All right, and then let's see, I pre-ordered a couple of books, trying to find all my pre-orders. You guys, I should have organized all of these before I actually like started this video, but yeah, that'd be for someone who is organized in life. I pre-ordered the second Witches of Brooklyn graphic novel, and this is What the Hex. Witches of Brooklyn, the first one, was my favorite graphic novel of last year, and so of course I had to pre-order this one. This is about a girl, Effie, who goes to live with her aunts, and they're witches, and the first one was so good, so I'm excited to read the second one. Another one that I pre-ordered is Alistair Chisholm's second book, Adam 2. I read Orion Lost during middle grade March and loved it. They're both sci-fi books, they're middle grade, and this one is about a boy who, it says, Adam 2 has been locked in the basement of a lost building for over 200 years until he emerges into a world ruined by a civil war between humans and advanced intelligence. Hunted by both sides, Adam discovers that he holds the key to the war and the power to end it, to destroy one side and save the other. But first, he must decide who and what he really is. So I am really, really excited to read these. These are UK releases. It's a UK author, so they're a little bit harder to come by in the US, but I did get that. And then I also pre-ordered Being Clem by Lisa Klein Ransom. This is the third book in the Finding Langston companion series, and so this one follows Clem. He is a boy who lives in Chicago, towards the end of World War II, his father's killed, and so he is dealing with school and family and just culture in Chicago during that time. It was really good. I already read that one. All right. Another book that I bought new is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Skyward series. And I got like halfway through Skyward and ordered this one because I was loving it so much. And so I'm super excited to read this one really, really soon. Skyward is a YA sci-fi that is about a girl who lives on a different planet and wants to be a fighter pilot. Her dad was a fighter pilot, and he was deemed a coward in one of the world's biggest battles. And so she has always like been branded as the coward's daughter, and so she has to kind of combat that. It was so good. I'm super excited for the second one. All right. I also got from Thrift Books, I got The Only Plane in the Sky. I'm actually hosting a read-along of this book, and we are having a live discussion on September 11th. I don't know if this video is gonna be live before or after that, but I had the audiobook, but I wanted to get the physical book, and I'm glad I did because it has like pictures and stuff from that day, and there's pictures like in the text as well. But it's just, I'm so glad that I chose to get this. I ended up reading this and listening to it at the same time. It was a super effective way to consume that. Very, very happy with that. And then I also bought a new Bible study. So I bought Breathe by Priscilla Schreier. She's actually doing on her Instagram, like her ministry's Instagram account, she is doing Instagram lives for this. So whereas normally you would have to buy the videos and that sort of thing, you don't have to do that right now because she's doing the lessons on Instagram Live. And so I just got the book and I just started this actually yesterday. This is all about Sabbath and what that means and how it's kind of countercultural right now, and being able to make room for Sabbath margins in your life. And so I'm very excited about that. All right. I also got a wonderfully kind gift from a subscriber. I had no idea this was coming. It showed up in the mail and I squealed when I opened it because I'm so excited. So Mary kindly gifted me The Wizard of Oz in the Puffin Chalk edition. I have been collecting these Puffin Chalk editions. I love them so much. They look like little chalkboard sketches. The backs are really fun too. And I have all of them except, I had all of them except this one and The Christmas Carol, but I don't really want The Christmas Carol because I already have a copy of that book and I don't really like the cover of that one. Anyway, this is the last one I needed and she got it for me. How kind. So Mary, thank you so much. She sent a sweet little note with it. I was so excited to get this. So excited to get this, and it's going, I have them all like displayed on my bookshelf up there, and this is going to go right up there with the rest of them. Thank you. All right, and then while we were on vacation, we at the beginning of August took a trip to Indiana, which is where all our family lives. And while we were there, I went to the thrift store because that's what you do when you're on vacation, and bought a bunch of books because they were super cheap and I was super excited to get them. So the first book that I got is another Holly Goldberg Sloan book. This one is Apple Blossom the Possum. This one's fun. It's kind of a fun size. It's a little bit more of an earlier reader and it has illustrations throughout it as well. And it is just about a possum. I'm super excited to read that. I got a Jennifer A. Nielsen book, Resistance. This is a new one, and it is about a Jewish teenager living in Nazi-occupied Poland, and she becomes part of the resistance, I guess. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. Another middle grade that I got is Jubilee by Patricia Riley Giff. I believe she wrote Island of the Blue Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. But this is about a girl who, it says she lives with her aunt and her faithful dog on a beautiful island. And years ago when her mother left the island, she stopped talking. She speaks only when she's alone or to her dog. She communicates with everyone else in gestures and taps and by drawing cartoons. This year, 5th grade is one for big changes. She's leaving her small special class for a regular one. There she finds a maybe friend, a boy that doesn't mind that she doesn't talk. So it's just kind of about that. Very, very excited about that. All right. I picked up another copy of Sisters. I couldn't remember if I owned this one or not. I thought I did. I didn't know, so I ended up just getting it. And I think I might already own this, so this is another one that's going to go in the pile of, I probably will put this like in a little free library or something along those lines. But yeah, this is a graphic novel by Raina Telgemeier that is about sisters, and it is like it's autobiographical of Raina Telgemeier and her sister. It's just about a sister relationship, and I really, really enjoyed that one. All right, and then another one that I grabbed is Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. This, I did not know what this was about, and then I read the back of it. I had heard about it. I had heard of it, but I didn't really know what it was about. And then I read the back of it, and I'm like, this sounds really good. So somewhere in South America, at the home of the country's vice president, a lavish birthday party is being held in honor of the powerful businessman, Mr. Hosokawa. Roxanne Koss, opera's most revered soprano, has mesmerized international guests with her singing. It is a perfect evening until a band of gun-wielding terrorists take the entire party hostage. But what begins as a panicked, life-threatening scenario slowly evolves into something quite different. A moment of great beauty as terrorists and hostages forge unexpected bonds, and people from different continents become compatriots, intimate friends, and lovers. So we'll see. I know it's literary fiction, so we'll see. All right, and then I also picked up The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. I just read a Sherry Lapina last month, and so I figured I'd pick up another one. It was like $1, so why not? This one says, Anna and Marco Conti seem to have it all: a loving relationship, a wonderful home, and their beautiful baby. But one night, when they are at a dinner party next door, a terrible crime is committed. Suspicion immediately falls on the parents, but the truth is much more complicated. So, yeah, that looked good. I also got, this was a cover by, but this cover, you guys, oh my goodness, is so pretty. The Child Finder by Renee Denfeld. It says that 3 years ago, Madison Culver disappeared when her family was choosing a Christmas tree in Oregon's Skookum National Forest. She would be 8 years old now if she had survived. Desperate to find their beloved daughter, the Culvers turned to Naomi, a private investigator with an uncanny talent for locating the lost and missing. Known to the police and a select group of parents as the Child Finder, Naomi is the Culvers' last hope. So this one, like, sounds great. This one, I don't know, I just picked it up. It was super, super cheap. So the Madonnas of Leningrad, I've been really interested in Leningrad. I read, what was it? The Winter Garden was about Leningrad, the siege on Leningrad, and then I read Stars was about Leningrad, and so I've read a few different books about Leningrad this year. This one has to do with the museum there and the Madonnas and how they are, like, they have to take all the paintings out of the museum and take care of them, and yeah, so it has to do something about that. It's by Deborah Dean. So we'll see. And then the last book I have here, I think, unless I'm missing something, was a complete cover buy for me. It's called Old Heart by Peter Ferry. I had never heard of this before. It says Tom Johnson has turned 85 and has suffered a few events, though he knows his mind is still sharp. His adult children want him to move out of the homestead lake house and into a retirement home, but Tom resists in the most clever way. He slips away from his remaining family and sets out to find the only woman he ever loved, a woman he met in the Netherlands where he was stationed during World War II. It says it's an unsentimental novel about forgiveness, a sense of home, and all the remaining rights of an old man. So that sounded so good to me. So yeah, and I've never heard of it before, so I grabbed it. That's it. Those are all the books. There's a lot of them, but yeah, I like buying books, and I'm not ashamed of it. So anyway, if you've read any of these books that I've hauled, I would love to, as always, hear your comments about them down below. And yeah, other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.